Oh, hey, my friends, it is Deidre Plant. So, my friends, I want to talk to you guys about myself today and talking to you guys also about me connecting with spirit, also my gifts, what all my offerings are, me as a personality, and also too, like, what is it that really helps people transform their lives and why am I so passionate about this too? So, my friends, I'll start by saying this. When I started reading tarot at 13 years old, I would ask my deck, several questions. And by the way, I had the traditional tarot deck, which everybody gets. If you know what that is, comment below. Um, as a kid, like, I would ask, the deck, questions about stuff around love or maybe stuff around like my personal life. And the reason why I started reading cards at a young age is because I always had a knowing. But because I grew up around people, and this is a lot of times the karma in order to actually really trust your intuition and really get into your intuition and know it, I would ask the cards to make sure that I was not at all like being crazy, having these knowings, right? Because I would have a lot of incidents in my life where I was like, that's just not the truth. I would be like, that's just not the truth. And when I would confront and be like, why do I feel like you're lying? I would always get either like made fun of, gaslighted pretty much, made to feel smaller, and also felt like I was interrogating and I would be labeled maybe defiant or maybe labeled some kind of label that would be very unfair and unjust, right? So that's the reason why I got into tarot at a young age, because I had this knowing that a lot of people were not, they were having a lot of veils, what we call like a veil energy, would show up really falsifying. So going back into it, when I asked the deck, what would be when I get older, I always got the Queen of Wands. And so I studied the Queen of Wands at a young age. And Queen of Wands is a very sexy queen, okay? She's very bold. She's very warm. She sometimes is really hot, depending on if you get her on her bad side, depending on if she's up one day or reverse the next day. Um, she's very much likes to be a queen. In fact, she loves to be queen, right? So when she walks in, there is no permission. She is the queen that really does stand out of all the queens, all right? And it's not in a way of like, I'm better. It's more in a way of like, I'm so bold, I cannot not, stand out, right? She goes by what her heart is telling her to, right? Because there's a lot of lion energy, and Leos are, not only are they really ruled by the energy of like royalty, but they're also ruled by the energy of the heart. And the heart always knows the truth. Okay, so when you love certain colors, you're going to show up in certain colors. When you love certain people, you're going to show up with certain people. And she's also a very loyal queen. She loves her people. She loves serving her people. And she loves bringing her people to a certain place where she can really, really help people. So my crown energy is the Queen of Wands. That is my crown energy. So I am very bold, and I am very sexy, and I am very audacious in a lot of ways. So when a lot of people are kind of like, well, why are you bringing that into your personal life? This is me, right? I wouldn't tell somebody who likes to dye their hair, I don't know, blue or blonde all the time if like, why do you do that? It's the same question. Like, it's the same thing. I show up as myself, right? And everything else, it has nothing to do with anything. So going into my psychic mediumship, at a young age, I was able to connect with spirit. The household I grew up when I was younger was a very, very, what's the words I want to use? It was at times destructive, energetically stuck, entrapped, trickstery. The house really messed around with my family dynamic, and it also had a lot of very trapped energies in it, okay? It had a lot of energies that really made a lot of my family dynamics and my parents, a lot of ways, not get along, and had a lot of this very negative energy. And so when I was younger, I was able to connect with these energies that were very, very stuck. And I remember I would just sit there and I would talk to God with them. And I talked to God in a lot of ways to help these spirits release themselves, because they didn't know how to not be chaotic and very much in a how do I say this? They didn't know how to get out. They didn't know how to leave and move. And with me connecting with them, I was able to move this energy out. And I remember when I really prayed really, really hard one night, I actually ended up leaving this house, right? The house ended up, I came home from school and my grandparents picked me up that day, and they were like, you're gonna live at my house. You're not going back to the house. The house is, not, you can't live in that house anymore. And so in a sense, the spirits, they very much heard me, right? But they also too was able to push out like myself to protect me. Um, and so at a young age, again, I was able to very much connect and very much speak to them in their way. And it's not that they were always saying full words too. I would hear sometimes like energy of stop, or be quiet, or a really loud shh, like very, very loud shush. But I felt it more than anything, especially in my soul and as a kid feeling this energies or certain emotions. So at a young age, I could piece together a bit what emotions energies was, right? And so whenever I do channel, right, for other people and I do connect with it, I do know pretty much every emotion there is, and I've learned through my years, and this is what I'm talking about, especially if you ever see posts about honing in. It's understanding what emotion each is, and understanding what visuals are, and understanding what is mine and what's not mine. Also, energy of not projecting. It's super important. One thing is, I've always been pretty good at this, is knowing what's mine when it comes on to like what my thing is, my lesson is versus like a client's lesson, right? Does that make sense? And being able to hold it and work through this energy through that. And even though we are as a whole going through similar things, doesn't mean we're always going through the exact same thing as someone else. Okay, so it's always something that I always keep in mind. What else? So yeah, going back into younger age, when I really much moved away from this, I started to also, get into like years of certain unjust situations for me. And this is the reason why, as Queen of Wands, I'm so, so strong and so much empowered, is because of all this empowerment I went through at a young age. So a lot of times we all go through karma, and my karma started really young, and for me to be able to give and go into a place in my life. And that's why too, like, I've learned all the good things about transformation. What is it really like to be empowered? How do you really get your desires met? How do you manifest your desires? I've been able to do this through years of pretty much the school of hard knocks, right? And being able to learn a lot of these really, really, really great things. And a lot of people want to point out that I am younger than, a lot of maybe psychics they go to. Age is really just a number. I mean, as long as you actually listen to the message, that's really what I will say. Also, guys, I'm a lot older than what I look. I'm always going to look a lot younger than what I look. I just look young. I always have. I've always had such a baby face. So that's part of one of my gifts too. I'm always going to look a little bit more younger than the other side, especially when you become even more connected to innocence. You will look younger. There are pictures of me probably 6 years ago. I looked like I was like 15 years old. Like I would get carded all the time. I just had a very, very like literally, even right now I'm pretty like glowing. But when I say I was like literally beaming out light from my pores, I was beating out like my pores. There was like no, I was like sparkle. I looked like one like a caramel version of a vampire. It was crazy. But again, that's what happens when you are really connected to spirit, really connected to light energy. You become a little bit more glowier. You have more of a glow. You're just a little bit more, part of the light. It's just part of naturality. I don't want to make this video too long. What are some common questions I get when it comes on to spirits? A lot of people want to know, like, for themselves. They all have to come to me. They want to know how to connect with the spirits myself. I will always say starting with a white candle, praying, right? That we keep protection around you so nothing else comes in. And also praying to the light. And then also just sitting and be quiet and be quieting. And then ask for any of your past loved ones to come in to speak to you, communicate to you. And wherever they will show you, if that's a past memory, if that is something else, like a smell, if that is a touch, or that is but showing a sign, this is going to be really helpful also for you to connect with them. What is another question I get? How accurate are like readings? Readings are pretty accurate. I always connect with the highest truth and what's going to happen. And sometimes at the moment, it doesn't seem really real. But I've had so many clients, I couldn't even tell you at this point. So many clients. I'm just thinking about back in like my old office, my first like shop on 49 North Union Street. I remember I went through a period where people were like, that's not going to happen. And I'm like, okay. I used to be like, okay, yeah. And I'm telling you, shit, you not. They came back like a couple months later, like telling their family about what happened. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I even told her like she's crazy. And sure enough, I told them what was up and what I saw, and sure enough, that's what was the truth. And a lot of people also too ask me like, how do people like find me? They find me all over the place. They find me through Yelp, Google, they find me through Facebook, and then they also just like get word of mouth too. A lot of people just recommend me to their family, especially if they're going through a hard time. They'll buy a package from me to work on some stuff. In which let me talk to you about coaching. I am a transformational coach, guys. I transfer people. I help take people from a certain place in life and help them leap into another life with going through some of the stuff and also brushing out some of this energy that really is held back. I'm all about going present and going forward. I do work with some of the energies from the past, but it's going to be really the younger child that I work with. And then we kind of just also make that younger child really comfortable and bring her to a certain place or him to a certain place. And then from there, this is what helps a lot of people really connect to their higher self and also connect to their modern day self. When you have a child that's like wounded, it's like inside of you that's really screaming, really think about it, and you think of a child that's really screaming like and yelling, you're gonna eventually like always hear this child. And you can't always be present. You have to like attain to the present, the child in you, right? But what if we can calm that child down, right? And then from there, live a life of authenticity, and also from like where you are as an adult person. If that is an adult person as a parent who wants to travel a lot more, if someone wants to get married, someone who actually really wants to find love. I have a tendency to find people who, I have a tendency to have people find me who are going through an energy or a transformation period of finding love, right? If this is like trying to figure out where they want to go next, if this is just something that really just they need to like jump out of, a lot of people just hire me for that too. And I really feel like the work of this work is so important and vital, because even though there are people who do take my advice in like one-off sessions and they go and they do the work, some people do need the extra support. And one thing is that at times I did really wish I had more support. Like when I was younger, even my like earlier like more in my later teenage years, I wish I had more support to given to me. So this is something that I really believe in, because when we need that support and we actually get that support and from a place of somebody who really cares about you, and every client that I decide to sign on with and work with, I do very much care about them deeply. And there always becomes like a very deep love and bond for my clients because I want the best for them in the long way, right? It's just finding that love in themselves to find the best for them. And that is really like the secret in all that. So with that being all said, guys, if there's any questions you guys want to comment below, I'll maybe make another video part 2 about this. If you guys want to know any more, I will make a video in the part 2 about more of my Reiki practice and how to get into Reiki and into healing. But this is all like really like already long, so I don't want to get too much into it in this video. But I love you guys, and I'm sending you guys so much love. If you guys want a book, I'll leave my link below, and talk to you guys soon. Bye.